Welcome back to Books and Bubbles, the podcast where we talk about our current book obsessions while sipping on tasty drinks themed to our books. I'm Bethany.
I'm Maggie.
And I'm Paige.
And today we have an exciting episode. We are talking about This Woven Kingdom, which is the first book in a young adult romantasy series that's going to have 5 books total. This one's based in Persian mythology, and I'm super excited to talk about it. So I'm going to go grab our first drink. All right, for our first drink, we have a pomegranate Moscow Mule. Towards the beginning of the book, they're starting to talk about a ball that's going to take place in the kingdom. And one of the first platters of food that is seen coming through is a plate of pomegranates. So that's what inspired this drink here. It's just pomegranates, ginger beer, vodka, and a bit of lime juice. And I put some grenadine in a couple of ours for some extra fun. Cheers.
Cheers. Ooh.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
big fan.
So good.
All right, getting into our discussion on the book. If you haven't read This Woven Kingdom by Tahereh Mafi, you absolutely should. This is the first in a young adult romantasy series. It's going to be 5 books eventually. There are 4 books out so far. And this one is definitely heavy on building up the world and getting to know your characters. And it makes me so excited for the second book because we'll talk about it later, but the way it leaves you, you have to pick up book 2 immediately. We really focus on our main character, Eliza, and she is a servant girl who's kind of hiding in plain sight. She is a secret heir to a kingdom, and she doesn't fully know who she is, but she knows that she is somebody that's kind of being hunted, and she keeps her identity a secret because of that. She is a jinn, and they are people who have magical abilities, basically. There's jinn and there's clay. Clay are just your normal people. Jinn have powers. They have an agreement where jinn can't use any of their powers, and if they don't, then they'll stay peaceful. And so she keeps that hidden for herself as well.
In this book, we get 2 different points of view. We're following Elisa, and then we're also following Cameron, who is the prince of Ardunia. And it's really interesting, I think, to get both sides. It makes the romance for me a little bit more exciting. And I really liked seeing the different sides of the politics because he's clay or, basically human. So he's looking at all of this from a different point of view. He's just come back from war and is basically coming back to the kingdom to see how things are being run and how everything's operating with the clay and the jinn.
And so as Paige kind of hinted, their paths kind of cross, and then you have this exciting kind of crossover of learning about how the different cultures are clashing, and then also how the different kingdoms and politics are playing out, and it all kind of plays out in court a little bit. Yeah, it's just a really great fantasy to get into if you like some politickiness going on, some will they, won't they.
Do you guys want to go through some funny 1-star reviews real quick?
Ooh, yes, always.
All right, so this first one, it's updated to January 2025. She read it in the first place a few years ago, but she said, update January 2025. Yep, still one of the worst books to come out of the pandemic.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
And then her update a few years prior, because she's updated twice, was update. This book is a finalist in the Goodreads Choice Awards for Best Young Adult Fantasy and Science Fiction. Y'all, this is my 13th reason.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, why'd she go back to read it so many times?
No, just to update her review to say hey, I still hate this. She's just adding more to her Goodreads hate list.
Oh my God, she's a hater.
Yes.
This feels personal again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
Weird that she went back all the way in January to be like, hey, I know the pandemic was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But I'm still not over.
Yes.
Didn't this come out in 22?
Wait, yeah. Let me look.
She just saying because she wrote it during the
Let
pandemic?
me look, actually. I don't think, it did not come out during the pandemic. Yeah, February 2022.
She must be talking about the wrong book.
Yeah.
She's confused.
She really hates something, but I don't think it's this book.
Okay, this one is a 1-star review, and it says, you want a boring, plotless, 512-page fantasy book where nothing happens, then this book is for you. Which I feel like a lot did happen. I feel like I remember plot lines and things happening.
Yeah.
I'll give it some credit because I would argue a ton did happen, but it didn't seem like a ton of time necessarily had passed. A lot of it was happening very quickly. Yeah. So I don't know if that's what they mean.
That's fair. I do
was very
think it was
detailed,
slower in the beginning because she's building you're building up a 5-book series. That's kind of how that goes. There's not going to be something happening crazy on page 20. So I understand it a little bit, but no.
Seems a little exaggerated to me.
Agreed.
Yeah.
A 1-star for that reason is aggressive. Ever wondered how boredom looks in a physical form? Yeah, it's this book. Cameron, trash. Which I totally disagree with.
I don't know if I strongly disagree with.
I have feelings towards that we will probably discuss in our spoiler section.
Oh my gosh. We are divided again.
1 star. Didn't finish this, but every time I think of it, I lose my motivation to live.
Whoa. That's a
Crazy.
bit harsh.
Wow. 13th
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
Motivation to live.
It's like, I haven't seen a lot of 1-star reviews of books that are this passionate about it. Like,
Yeah.
because I
I know.
hated, like we talked about a book I hated earlier. Hated it. Terrible.
Yeah.
I don't spend my time on the internet just being like, this makes me want to die. Like,
Yeah, right.
reading this book makes me want to just be done with life. Like, that's not my reaction. I'm like, yeah, that book sucked. Moving on.
Yeah. Yeah. It is very short. It just says, the more I think about it, the more I hate it. 1 star.
Short, sweet, to the point, valid. If you
yeah,
hate
sure,
it, yeah.
sure. I guess that's how they feel.
yeah. If someone put a gun to my head and told me to explain the plot of this book, I'd be dead.
Whoa.
How do you not know the plot?
I don't know. I feel like, did you not finish it then? Because like,
I have a really hard time with some of the 1-star reviews because if you left I mean, like you said, you made a point of finishing it. I wish they would tell us if they DNF'd it
yeah,
in the
DNF.
review.
Yeah.
If I had to give you the plot, I'd be dead or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
that'd be fair. It says, do you want dialogue that feels like an AI generated Shakespearean comedy that never made it to the folios, prompted by a middle schooler? Dialogue that's trying really fucking hard to sound like the 18th century kind in conversations that the last 15 pages wherein the same damn point gets repeated again and again and we never get anywhere? Do you want characters that tell and absolutely no showing? Do you hate plot and want your book to be the kind where nothing ever happens? A female main character that is all powerful and super important, but for some reason chose submission and abuse for 5 years until a dude came into her life, and the dude is a fucking idiot asshole. And they fall in love because we want a romance plot, of course. Oh, and do you want an ending so stupid, a build up to a sequel so astoundingly boring, full of more unrealistic dialogue that drags on and on and on and on? I got just the thing for you.
Okay.
There's a lot there.
Yeah. I mean, they definitely read the whole book. I will
Yes,
say that.
I agree.
She said it with her chest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very strong opinions
But yeah,
there.
that is strongly did not like what
Yeah.
they read.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I feel like there's so much interpretation for things though, because I read her as like, yes, she wasn't utilizing her powers and was kind of living a bunch of years of not ideal, but like also I think she's pretty young. Like, I don't think she fully knows what she's capable of, and also doesn't want to stand out because she's trying to hide. Like,
Yeah.
what do they want her to just be like, I know people are hunting for me, but like, I am the most powerful person ever. I'm just gonna what do they want her to be doing right now?
Isn't she like 18?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Who just had her like parents killed in
Yeah.
front of her, basically. Like, what do you think she's just gonna come out of that and be like, time to just like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dismantle the patriarchy. Here I go.
Yeah. And that happened like 5 years. She was like 13 when that happened.
And she's been on the run ever since.
How
just
dare
trying to
she not get it
survive.
together?
I know.
Yeah.
Like, what the world?
Yeah. Emma says, nothing happened and I hated everyone.
That's fun.
so funny.
I just respect that's just funny. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have anything to say other than Emma did not like it.
No.
Okay?
Not Emma's fave.
All right, our last spoiler-free thing, and then we'll maybe grab our next drink. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think we all pretty much drained this.
Yes.
Let's play a game of He's a 10, but.
Ooh.
He's a 10, but his grandpa plans to kill you.
He's a 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like the family does affect the relationship quite a bit. That's gonna drag it down. Like
Yeah.
probably a 2 as well.
Yeah.
That's not
I'm gonna go 3 because like it depends what his vibes are. So like,
Yeah.
the 10 to a 2 is pretty drastic. I don't know.
Yeah.
How
I
close
wanted
to-
to say 3, but I was like, that's kind of bad.
It's
Maybe
pretty-
it's 2.
Yeah, it is death.
Yeah.
It's not like
3
he
felt
hates you.
generous.
Yeah, it is generous because
Like
it's not
murder.
Yeah, I was
Right?
kind of thinking like his grandpa hates me because I'm like, eh. But like,
Oh, I wouldn't
his
care.
grandpa
But like, no, he's plotting
to
to murder
kill
you.
you, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
has the means to do
Yeah.
so, and is
But-
like, how do I do this?
how close to the nursing home is grandpa though? So like
fair point. Like,
what's
can
the
we wait this
return?
out?
Yeah,
Are
exactly.
you sure he's not an 11?
Yeah.
That might change my answer.
All right, kind of going off of that, he's a 10, but he wishes you could live, but isn't willing to do anything to really like stop your death from his grandpa.
He's a
He's a
1.
-2 for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, not great.
Not great.
But yeah.
And that's why I'm so curious to hear your thoughts on why you love this man.
I,
But we'll get into it later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, we will.
All right, he's a 10, but he's going to have to become betrothed to someone else.
I think-
what?
You can still be a 10. You can look. You just can't touch, right?
Fair. Yeah.
Like, it doesn't
yeah.
change how someone...
Oh, for some girlies, that's like a 20. Like,
Yeah,
that's like
it's
a,
forbidden.
Yeah, that's
Please
like,
take it.
that's like another.
No.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go
It's
with
just
6.
somebody else's,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
gonna go 6 because you
Good
can
for
look,
you,
but
girl.
can't-
He's a 10.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah. Oh,
I might
okay.
not feel like a 10, but like, you know what I mean? Like if
Yeah.
somebody
I
else
got you.
is, but
Yeah.
good for them.
Yeah. Okay. He's still a 10 then, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
is he a 10? Because does he actually get betrothed? Because like if he likes you or loves you and then gets
Yeah.
on with someone else, that brings it down.
That's what
but
I
if
was
they're just
thinking.
in a position where they've been told they need to do
Yeah.
something and that's the expectation, that doesn't really change
that's
much.
fair. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
but if there's a
he's
commitment
gonna
and then
do
a-
it-
He's like
see
playing. He's
ya.
not gonna.
That's different.
Yeah, I feel like because in this book he's like not fighting against it, so then
Yeah,
I would
he's
drop
like, I'm
it.
gonna do it. So
Like, unfortunately,
That's
I have to because even though I'm a grown adult, my grandpa told me I have to,
My
so I will.
Pops wants me to.
Yeah. He's a 10, but he wants to help you, but doing so might start a war.
Well, that sounds like he won't.
Well, he like how
'Cause,
about
like, if-
he's a 10, but helping you could start a war.
Okay, if he's willing to cause a war to
Yeah.
happen, he's like a 15.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go with that.
Yeah.
He's like
Yeah.
he's down for that war because
Yeah.
yeah.
So he'll go to war for you, is what
Yeah,
you're saying?
Yes, I am saying
He'll
that.
Yes.
start a war for
He'll
you.
start a war for you?
He'll
Uh-huh.
start a war
20.
for you.
Murder's wrong. If no one has
But
to
to
die,
protect you.
to protect,
Yeah.
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 The only way.
Yeah.
I mean, in the sense of like protecting you, absolutely hot.
Yeah.
Hot. Murder, not hot.
All right, we have 2 more. He's a 10, but the entire world seems to be afraid of him.
He's also a 10, 20, maybe.
Yeah.
20.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, he's like scary. Okay.
Yeah, he's scary, but he still likes me.
But he likes me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not scared, but
I'm-
everyone else is.
I get a bulldog.
All right, this last one is a little slight spoiler. So if you don't want a spoiler, then skip or go read the book. But he's a 10, but he has a secret agenda with the devil.
He's a 0.
He's a 0.
It's absolutely right.
Fair, but I'm so intrigued in this. I feel like in this book, I like, is that the devil? Like, what's the devil's purpose here? That I don't,
Yeah.
do I, like,
Yes.
in this setting
Yeah.
of this book, I'm like 10, 11, I don't know. I'm kind of into it. In like
Yes.
real life, yeah, I'm not so much wanting to touch that with
Yeah.
a 10-foot
Yeah,
pole,
yeah.
but
Right. I almost, at the beginning, when it was like going through everything, I was like, this is almost too witchy or like too devilly. Like, I was like, whoa, for a second, where I was like, I don't know if I'm going to actually want to read this book. But then once I got into the lore a little bit more, I was like, okay, this is not that
no.
Yeah.
crazy darkness or whatever. But it was kind of scary for a second when they call something the devil and then it's like speaking to her in her head.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I don't know
Yeah.
how you feel about that.
I was kind
So-
of waiting for it to be like, she thinks of him as a devil, but like, that's not actually the devil. Like,
Yeah.
I'm really not sure what to think about it
Yeah.
right now because like, it doesn't give at least the devil, and I guess maybe it's just this is Persian mythology, and I'm not very educated
That's
in Persian
what
mythology because
yeah.
maybe the
Yeah.
devil in Persian mythology is different than like the devil in like
Yeah.
the Christian mythology that we or like the
Yeah.
Christianity that we know. Because like to me, I'm like the devil, like holy shit, that's scary. I don't
Yeah.
like, I don't
Yeah,
wanna
that's
touch
what
that.
I'm saying. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
And then once I realized, like, okay, they're not like in cahoots. Like the devil is still like this taboo thing, and it's like this idea. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, we're cool. We can keep going. But there was a hot second there where I was like, how dark is this gonna get? Like
Yeah.
this is kind of intense. It was like scary. I was like, this is not supposed to be a scary book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I meant to go back and look because she refers to him as the devil, and that's like their mutual. Again, full spoilers at this point.
Yeah.
But that's like the mutual friend.
Yes.
But like, does he think of him as the devil? I meant to go look back and see if that's like who he sees him as too, or if this is like the voice that she maybe had been told or envisions as like the devil for her, but it isn't. Maybe that's I don't know.
Oh.
Ooh.
Should we grab our next drink and talk more about the plot?
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right, we are back with our next drink. I made a devil's riddle in honor of the snakes that were coming out of the shoulders of the man that the devil told Elisa about. Let me know what you guys think. We've got vodka, Midori, lime juice, and some pineapple.
Yay. Cheers. Ooh, that's sweet.
It is sweet.
I
like it.
I almost added simple syrup. The recipe that I found called for simple syrup, but
Need it.
no. Once I did the pineapple, I was like, this seems like enough.
Yeah. That's good.
I like it.
We were just talking about a little bit of like the lore, talking about the devil, who's also part of the story. Elisa is basically hearing him talk in her head, and he's telling her all these riddles, which I found so interesting. And it was such a fun thing to start off with because you were immediately kind of like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah.
So I liked that they introduced a little bit of mystery really early because it gave me something to look for right away.
I was just going to say that, like, the mystery aspect was fun because, like, it's a fantasy, so you don't always have something that you're, like, trying to solve. But, like, seeing those little snippets, I was always tapping them, always looking at them, like, what is this going to be? Like, what is this going to mean? What is this going to do for her? I don't know.
But yeah, it did give you some mystery to kind of, like, look for. So no matter what, like, any character that we met, I was like, is this the guy?
Yeah.
That's fun. What were your guys' thoughts, like, starting out the book? Because we all go into our books blind, and we knew this was a fantasy. I don't know if you guys knew it was young adult.
I did
romantasy
not.
or anything.
No, I had no idea what to expect. I just knew that it was going to be fantasy. So I was just down.
Yeah. Did you guys like it right off the bat, or did it take you some like investment to get into the story?
I feel like it took me a second to like understand the lore, but I really appreciated the world building at the beginning and her explaining everything. It was kind of abrupt. Like it was pretty in your face right away. But so like I did have to go back and reread a little bit at the beginning. But once I got that down, I was like, okay, I can read this book. Like she's cooking. I see it.
Yeah, I'd say it took me a while as well to get into it. I think that's just because I back-to-backed fantasies, and that feels like a sin now. I don't think I'll ever do that again.
That's hard, yeah.
Because the worlds were just so different that it did take me a second to be like, where?
I can only read one fantasy book at a time because I get like all the characters confused because the names are oftentimes like a lot of names and they're usually unique.
Yes.
So it makes it a lot more difficult to start even.
Yeah. It's not so much that I was getting confused. It was just like, I don't know how to explain it. It was just like the world was so different that it, like normally with a fantasy, it does take you a while to get into the world building, but because it was like I was in a different world and then I moved to a new world, that it was like more of a shock, I guess, to like.
Yeah, I think it's hard because like, especially if you've just finished another fantasy, you just got off of like the fun end where everything's making sense and then maybe there's a cliffhanger and it's all really exciting. And so starting another fantasy where you're starting over can be hard for me because you're building it back brick by brick of a new world and you're like, wait a second, I still kind of want to be in that other world, and that was really cool.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was. So it did take me a while, but I do like the story. Like, it's no fault of the book. I think I messed up.
Yeah, I have read this author's other series, Shatter Me. I think I'm about halfway through that series, and it's kind of similar where there's a lot of buildup in the first book. So I had that expectation going in. Shatter Me is a much longer series than this one is. I thought that it was kind of fun the way it was paced. I can understand like a lot of the 1-star reviews we read were talking about nothing happened. It was boring. And I get it to an extent because it is a slower world building and it is young adult. So she's not going to just dump a bunch, because some fantasy books, they just kind of dump a bunch of lore and then you can get right into it, or they're dropping things as you go. But this one, it kind of took its time with building it. So you got to know the character as you're learning her world. And I thought it was really fun, and I loved the writing in it. I thought it was very beautiful and like almost poetic in the way that she wrote the book.
I would agree.
So I didn't have like a hard time like getting invested, but part of that is because I've been traveling for like a month and I didn't start this book until like 2 days before we were going to be recording. So it wasn't like an option to be like, I don't feel like picking this up. It was like, I'm going to read this whole book in 2 days. So so that definitely helped. But I really enjoyed it from the beginning, partly because of that writing style. I thought it was really beautiful.
Yeah, I did read it all in like 2 days.
Same here. It was, once you got started, you were good to go. For me, I think I marked chapter 24. I was like, all in, dude. Like, I am not going to put the book down after this moment. So I was up late. It didn't take me until chapter 24 to be like invested, though. That was just when I was just like, I'm not putting it down. But I feel like
hooked.
The first, I want to say 60 pages were what took me the longest. Just that first like hour of reading the book.
That's fair. And you guys both listened to this on audio, right?
I did listen to it and like read along with it at the beginning.
Yeah, I did too.
because I want to ask about, people have very strong opinions over this narrator, Kate Redding. She is the like co-narrator with her husband for a lot of the Cosmere novels. And I had no idea going in until I heard her at the beginning. I was like, oh my God, Abe, like you'll never guess who's narrating this. But I'm curious because she's very polarizing sometimes. Like, do you guys like that narration?
I wouldn't guess that. I liked her.
Yeah.
She has got like kind of like a little bit of an accent to her. It sounded like while she was reading.
She doesn't normally. It was for this book. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
See,
That
the
was
way she
interesting.
spoke, I was like getting really like I was talking, I think, off the pod about like I think it's like the snudda.
Yeah.
Every time she said it, I like had to say it back. Like I don't know, it gave me so many like vocal stims. Like I really enjoyed it. I was like,
Yeah, no, I loved it. Like sometimes you pick up an audiobook and you're like, oh no,
yeah,
I don't like the way this person talks, or like I'm not liking it, and it can ruin the story for you.
yeah.
But I really liked it.
Yeah, I love her narration. People complain often that her narration is very like, I don't know the words they use, but like monotone almost, like she doesn't vary her voices very well, or that it's just like really boring to get through and like zone out because she's not engaging basically, which I don't find at all. I love both her and her husband are like phenomenal narrators to me.
Yeah.
But I think that is a very common opinion. So I was curious what you guys thought. But
Oh no, I found her soothing. It
Yeah,
felt like
yeah.
somebody was reading a story to me.
Yeah.
It was, like,
100%.
Yeah, she wasn't like, it wasn't like I was reading a dramatized book. You
Right,
know what I
yeah.
mean? I didn't download the dramatized version. I wasn't expecting that. I was
Yeah.
expecting someone to read a book to me, and she was pleasant.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys like her narration though, because
Yeah.
if you read the Stormlight Archive and a lot of Brandon's other books, you'll be hearing her for 50, 60 hours, depending on the book. So
Oh wow.
yeah, those books are long. But yeah, I have a theory that a lot of the readers who don't like it are really into epic fantasy in general. And epic fantasy, I feel like a lot of the times has kind of dramatic narrators who have very different voices for different characters. And she is a little bit more underspoken with her like style. She still has different voices. Like she voices a lot of different people in those books, and I can hear the difference. But I think that some people are expecting this like wow factor that it's not her style. But
Yeah.
glad you guys liked her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were your guys' initial thoughts of Eliza, our main character? Did you like her right away?
At first, I didn't really understand her because she was talking about like how cold she was and stuff. So I was kind of like, what's going on here? I knew that there was more to her than what was on like being displayed to us. So I was a little suspicious of her because I wasn't sure like, okay, is she a reliable narrator or like what is this like frost thing that they're talking about? I did like her. I was suspect.
She was kind of mysterious the way that they were describing everything at the beginning. Like you knew something was different and you knew something was going on. But I also, enjoyed all of that. And I thought that it added a little bit more depth to the character right away when you don't know everything about them. I like it sometimes. You get to know your character a little bit better when they're a little bit more open book and they're like, oh, this is going on, that's going on, da 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 da. But with her kind of holding off on like explaining who she was and all of that until later, it felt like she was accepting and stepping into that role, which I thought made it more powerful to hear it that way.
I can see what you're
That's so
saying.
true. Yeah, I liked her too. I like a lot of times in books when they're like this, where you get to know her as you read, like knowing little snippets of like kind of what happened with her family, but then it kind of getting more detailed as you go and learning those things. I feel like it makes it more meaningful sometimes because you already know your character. So hearing like the things that she went through or kind of her backstory or even like the prophecy around her can be more like exciting for the prophecy, for example, or like devastating to read when you already know her and feel invested in her. So I like that style, but I know that can be hard sometimes when you don't know a ton about her to start. But
I will say the thing that threw me off a little bit, like with her age and everything, the way they were describing like how long she'd been working and this and that made it sound like she started working when she was 13, but it didn't sound like there was a lot of other younger people at that level that she was talking to or running into. They seemed like they were just kids on the street. So
that's a good point.
I was kind of confused at how she managed to not be like a kid on the street. Why were they not turning her away?
That's a good point. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Yeah, I don't know. So that was the only thing that threw me off a little bit. She came off a lot older than she was in the book. And if they had aged it up a little bit, I think I might have preferred it a little bit more. But I understand with it being young adult, like they're going to do that to try to cater to that audience because that's the people they're marketing to. But I feel like her character might have been a little bit more compelling if she was a little older.
Fair. I think I was going to point to young adult as well, because I think that I was noticing when I was tabbing, for example, I have a tab color that's for new characters, and there are not very many tabs that are that color in this book because there just aren't. And I think that's a common thing for a young adult, is you're not introducing a ton of other people. And so I think that could have helped where you're understanding like kind of how the society works there if we were meeting like other maids at that house or other people she's running into. But it really was bare bones. Like that one kid she ran into on the street was like, that's the only one. And then like when she's going from place to place, it's not talking about other people. I think like as an adult reader, I would have loved all of those more details and more characters. I understand why you do that though, because you are marketing towards like a 12 to 18-year-old. But
yeah, so it makes sense, but I wanted more.
I wanted it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like my brain just thought she was older. Like
I aged her up in my head and I was fine. I was okay to accept that for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I did the exact same thing.
Yeah, because I just didn't like the idea that I was just like it made it harder to understand her background, and I can see why people are like, why did she just take this abuse for 5 years or this or that? It's like, but also like she's supposed to be young and she's just surviving, but like her survival story didn't make sense. I mean, she was very articulate, and I loved how they were talking about the education and everything in the books too.
We got to know her character very well pretty early on. I think a lot of romantasy leans on like a very headstrong FMC. And I did think she was like that in a sense, but she led with her emotions and was as a whole just a very kind and like considerate person, even if it didn't always like make sense in the situation. The thing that first comes to mind is the scene with the boy who was basically threatening her life to steal from her. And she basically is like, you know, you're not going to do that because I could mess you up. Like, I'm really powerful, but I can give you food. I can actually help you out. And that's like obviously not normal in society. Like if somebody's trying to harm you, you're not going to be like, why is he doing this? It's because he's starving and he's a kid. Like I'm going to help him. So I really liked that about her character. And I think that it showed throughout the book and just made her so much more likable to me.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I think that seeing that was her character at like every turn too, whenever something else was going on, like she was so kind with everyone. It made like the prophecy portion with like the creature with the like light eyes with frost in their heart will overtake your kingdom, or however it's worded. I was like, yeah, but that's inevitable anyways. Like there's no, because of how she just interacts with people, I just like totally could see that prophecy coming through. It didn't feel like this random 18-year-old's gonna like Harry Potter, like the chosen one, that's a baby's gonna destroy you. Like it's not like
No, it made sense for her to be that because she was that amazing. And
it made sense that people would follow her.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. I do have a part in my book where I made a note about Harry Potter though, because I was like, the whole prophecy thing that you were talking about, I felt like it was getting very much into like a self-fulfilling prophecy as well, because realistically, I feel like the thing that was interesting about that is if he had never gone after her when she was younger, would Cameron have ever really questioned the grandfather and what was going on? And would things have gone down the way it did if he didn't go after a child? And I was like, that's very Voldemort-esque.
It is.
And it made me think that he was probably like trying to, like, and Voldemort's whole thing is, you know, trying not to die. And that seemed to be his thing for a minute. He seemed to decide when he was done, but it felt like it was a very self-fulfilling prophecy. Like if you hadn't like gone after and done this bad thing, you probably wouldn't have met your demise.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I thought that was kind of interesting. And I made a note about Harry Potter in that. I was like, this is giving Harry Potter, but like not in the same way that you were saying.
Yeah, no, that is such an interesting thought. What you were saying kind of made me think too, like, I wonder why the grandpa decided to stop when he did. Because do we know how old Cameron is?
I assume a similar age as her, but I'm not sure.
Because it seems like he might have been a little bit older because he was like going to war and like leading like legions. And
I chalked it up to him being 18 as well, because they were saying like, oh, you can take a wife now. Like I thought it was because his dad died early and they were like, okay, now you can, like, you're a man, get married. But that's the only thing that made me think 18.
That would make sense.
Speaking of Cameron, I know that we had some differing thoughts on him, but like early in the book, because I feel like my thoughts definitely changed.
Yeah.
And for me, it was a pretty like harsh just jumping ship when there was this other option. Like I was trying so hard to like Cameron until I didn't have to anymore. And then I was like, okay, bye. But what were your guys' initial thoughts? How did that change? I know Paige, I think, likes him a little bit more than we did.
Yeah. I don't know if I like him for the main character, but I think that I liked his character overall. Like, I thought that, he was very insightful about his feelings and things and dealing with a lot of just like, again, that, loyalty to the crown and this and that. And this is his grandfather who's done so much for him and yada, yada, yada. So I understood like those battles and I appreciated that he was having them and noticing things. And he's like, this is going to mess me up. I would argue that he came off as the kind of character where, like, let's say she had died, like when they went after her and everything. I fully believe he would have avenged that girl's death. Like, I don't think he would have been smiling and nodding afterwards. I think it would have stuck with him and stayed with him the way that he was getting like so hung up on it. And he was seeing it in the street, like with that boy, like someone help. Like, I think that was also his nature, the same way that is her nature. Like, he saw it, he fixed it. He was just in war. Like, he's a prince, like doing all these things. Like, he could have also, if he thought she was a spy and like doing all this, he could have like done some far more dramatic things at that time if he was like this cruel person. And he was looking at the king with like this disdain and like not understanding. And he's like, make this make sense. And their conversations were like so powerful that made me like Cameron more as a character. So I really liked his character overall. Did I love every decision he made? No, that sucked. That sucked when he did that. But I think that I love a learning moment for a character. And I love seeing like some things change a little bit. And instead of moping, like he made different decisions later.
That's fair. I just felt like he talked a lot of talk with everybody. Like I felt like he was people pleasing everyone he was in front of. So I felt like for me, I just wasn't seeing any action.
That's fair. Yeah, I love the logic behind what Paige said. But when you're like a reader reading a romance or a romantasy, like you want them to be taking action.
Yeah.
And so like I completely understand in his shoes. This is a woman that, or a girl, I don't know, 18 maybe, that he's just met and they immediately have like an attraction to each other. He sees that she's doing good things and is a good person. Of course he doesn't want her to die. But like as the reader, you want him to do something about it. There's that scene where he is in his room and he's like, oh, she's going to get killed today. Well, look at that. It's probably late enough that she's already dead.
Yeah. I hated that.
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck? Like, go do something. But I understand in his position where he's not the king. The king is his grandpa. And his grandpa had threatened to kill him multiple times in this book. It wasn't a situation.
Nearly did.
Yeah. It wasn't a situation where he can just go and be like, Grandpa, don't do that. And
you
then his
guys
grandpa's
gave
like,
me
okay.
such a hard time in the last book when Keel just like up and left after whatever. And you're like, well, what is he going to do? Stay and die? What was he going to do? Go after her and die?
I'm reading a romance. I want him
That's
to
why
do
I
it.
wanted Keel to come back.
But
and
that's
you guys
why-
were like, no, it's fine.
Fair. That's fair.
Okay,
But that's why I jumped ship so easily because I was rooting. Like I kept wanting him to do something. I kept wanting him to root for her and to like stand up for her. And
Because he
thinking
has a
was gonna
good
do
heart
that.
and you
He
know it
does.
and you want to see it.
I did,
Well,
but
but
then as
okay,
soon as there's
Keel
this
at
like
least
dark,
had-
broody other option, I'm like, let's just hop right into that boat because I don't want
friends
to be
with
in
the
this
devil.
boat anymore.
Sign me up.
Yes.
You know what?
Yes.
To be so real with you, I was rooting for Dean. I was like, I like Dean.
That's funny.
Dude, low key, if
did
I
love
could
Dean.
pick anyone in this book for her, it would be Hassan.
That's funny. I didn't think about that, but
Yeah, like you can trust me with your life.
Yeah, she did Hassan dirty though. I'm kind of
yeah, she
No,
literally
I'm
left
super
with just
disappointed.
outing him. Like I
I'm
hated
mad
that.
at that. Yeah.
Like, why would you be like, oh, who's our mutual friend? Let me just throw this name out. Why don't you just say, who's our mutual
Yeah.
friend? End of sentence. Why did
Yeah.
you have to throw
Yeah,
him under
and
the
also
bus like
you
that?
were already so suspicious of all this stuff with the devil, and he had just been talking in your head. Who did you think it was? I knew who it was.
I got a little annoyed at that point because I was like, you've been like noticing the politics, picking up on it, seeing what's going on, and now you're just killing somebody.
Yeah.
Did anybody else, like while we're somewhat on the Hassan topic, did
Yeah.
anybody else think it was his firefly?
Oh, like
Oh, I didn't think it was his firefly, but I did think that he was the like source on the inside.
I didn't come up with that, so I was just surprised.
There was something about the conversation that Cameron and Hassan had when he was like, oh, I know exactly what's going on. Like, you're so hung up on this girl and this and that. And I was like, oh my gosh, this guy is going to hook them up. Like, this is going to happen. He's already on her side. Like, the way he's talking about her, she is not a threat. Like, so I knew that he was going to be involved. And then when she was like talking about the fireflies being pets, I was like, son? Like, and again, there's not a lot of characters here. So it made it a little bit easier to hope for and root for. There are other parallels to a different series that I don't want to spoil that made me think about it a lot. But
I was a little, though, suspicious, or like, I don't know, because Hassan is the one who had the blood tested on the napkin.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's the one that told the king that there was ice in the blood.
But he had it tested. That information was going to go somewhere no matter what. What was he going to do? Kill the people that did the test? He didn't perform the test.
I mean, if you're really protecting her, wouldn't you?
I guess. But like at the end of the day, someone's going to get the result of that, or they're going to ask for the result. I can see where it might have been something too, where it's like, then they just give the results back. And then he's like, okay, now I got to figure out what to do. Now this is what's happening. That's the way that I read it, at least.
I guess. But I was a little bit like, is that really the only option you had, to just directly tell the king?
I think I'd almost just not send it to get tested. Be
or
came
send
back
something
normal
else.
I don't know.
Like,
swap it out with something.
yeah.
Cut my own hand on a cloth and send that over.
Right.
Like, oh, it's clay.
It's yeah.
Yeah.
Or it is gin, but it's because it seemed like he was gin.
But it's for the plot.
Yeah, it's for the plot.
It's for the plot.
I'll give you that. I loved Hassan, though. I thought he was awesome.
I'm sad.
He was a great best friend,
probably
too.
Killed by now.
I really
don't
hope
think
we're
so.
not done with him. I
don't
could
think
see
so.
him. I mean, we'll get into more of that later. I think that it is worth talking about the housekeeper, Miss Amina, at some point. Like, she was interesting.
Yeah, I kind of think she might have been Jin a little bit, but then we got into it more, and I feel like maybe not.
She was so hot and cold. Like, there'd be a scene where I'm like, I see a glimmer of like light in you. Like, I think you're kind of a good person, maybe just a little bit hidden.
Yeah.
But then she'd be like evil, and I'm like, I hate this woman. So I feel like she was I'm sure she has a backstory that explains why she's like that. And I'm wondering if she's a character that we keep going with, maybe we'll learn more about her, because it really seemed like some scenes she was horrendous and some she was
I thought she recognized her.
I thought so too.
Like, she took that weird pause and she was like, why are you speaking the way you are? Don't you know better?
Yes.
As soon as she did that, I was like, I think she knows who she is. And it made me wonder if she worked in the house or like somehow survived like that fire or something too.
It's quite possible, because she had that pause and then like something happened that she just like left it alone and got distracted. But I could see that. And I hope we're right in that she's going to play a larger part and we're going to see her again. I hope that wasn't just like a one-off character with like so much mystery behind her, because
I loved too that the character acknowledged it though. Like, how often do you get it where a character's like, wow, she's really hot and cold to me. And I don't know, I can't figure her out. I was just like, thank you for addressing the elephant in the room. It is weird.
Yes.
And I'm glad that it's on your radar too, because you're smart.
Yeah.
Like, she's so smart.
You know who else I kind of liked was Miss Huda.
I liked Huda, yeah.
She was hilarious. She had a bit of a loud mouth there at the end.
Yes.
But she was hilarious. It sounds like she had a mean mom though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her life seemed unfortunate, but I loved that little like unlikely friendship between her and Elisa, just like briefly, but you could tell like towards that end, before things went awry, like they were just realizing they were bonding and like kind of just vibing together. And I liked that. Like, I think they both needed a friend and found it in a very unlikely person.
Yeah.
It was giving Cinderella during that whole situation, especially with her being a seamstress too.
Yes.
Like, for whatever reason, I was just picturing that the whole time, but not like, I've read books where I'm just like, okay, well, this is just a little too heavy. Like, I felt like I picked up on so many little things that I'm like, oh, this makes me think of this, or like Harry Potter, Cinderella. I'm all over the place with all these different thoughts. Like, it was cute. It was enjoyable. It was fun.
It was a fun book.
Yeah.
Man, I want to read book 2 right now.
I know. We have to finish this podcast first.
I know we mentioned briefly, but I did really like Dean. So Dean was the apothecary who she came to kind of really scared, because she had a lot of wounds, including one on her neck that was like, she kind of forgot about somehow. She was just like, oh yeah, you're right. I almost got like killed. No big deal. And he was like, well, you're going to have to take off your, do you want to say it in Kate Redding's voice?
No.
So that I can help you. And she's like, okay. And she does it thinking, wow, he could like kill me or report me or do something. There's people out to hunt me, basically. And he just met her with so much like kindness and treated her just like anybody else. You could see that he like clocked like, this is different. She has eyes that they change color. They're very abnormal from most people. And he could tell that she was a djinn because of her blood color. And he just was so kind to her and did exactly what she would need. And both times that we saw him in the book, I just loved their interaction because you could tell that he just like truly cared about people.
Yeah.
And I just love that when people are in the right profession, that they are truly in it for the right reasons. And he's just a very wholesome character.
Yeah, I agree. I liked how when he talked with Cameron too, they gave you the opportunity because for a minute there, you might have judged Dean for like a half a second or wondered where his like feelings lie. Because when she was talking about the prince saying pretty like things that in general, I mean, yeah, treasonous, but also as the people, maybe you would probably agree with a lot of the statements, even if you don't want to say it kind of thing. And his reaction just kind of made you wonder, like, what was going to happen when she came into the shop. And I loved that he was just like, I think I might have scared her off. Like, he had that thought. And it was so wholesome. Like, that conversation specifically just made me love him so much more.
Yes. Fingers crossed he's in book 2. I mean, maybe he won't be because they're kind of headed to a whole other kingdom. But like, I really like him. I want to read more Dean.
Yeah.
Give me a novella. Give me a Dean novella.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why the second one's so short. Maybe it's your Dean novella.
It's 11 and a half hours of Dean.
Do we want to just get into the ending and all the lore and grab our next drink?
Because there's so much going on there. So yeah,
I
let's
know.
do it.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Okay. So we are back from our bubble break. And for my drink, I chose iced cold water. Yeah, because ice in the blood, it just felt like it fit perfect. I'm still not really into alcohol right now, so it was just too easy to not do.
That's perfect.
So, cheers, ladies. Let me know
Cheers.
what you think. Truly.
Every water tastes different. I haven't had Paige's tap water yet.
My
so
tap water, this is the basement tap water. It's different than the upstairs tap water.
it is pure
It will.
H2O.
Yep.
Yes. All right, let's discuss this ending because I don't know about you guys, but it was kind of a whirlwind. I ended up reading it twice because there's a lot going on there in the last little section.
Yeah.
I felt like it was kind of paced similarly as you go, starting to pick up speed, and then it was just like gas pedals to the floor.
Yeah. And then you were just like, OMG, what the fuck, dragon?
Yeah.
I told that to Abe, and he was like, "What do you mean? There's a dragon out of nowhere?" And I was like, "No,
No,
truly,
like literally, it's just
no
like,
context."
and then she's on the back of a fucking dragon.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh.
Yeah, which also like pulled in so much context for their argument over earlier when he was like, "You're borrowing my right." It was like it belongs. Like he was getting so passionate about it, probably because it's like a pet of some or like a relationship of some sort where he's like, "That's my dragon. You can't have it."
It opens up so many doors though because of this whole like invisibility thing with the djinn. Like there's probably this was one of my biggest predictions, I guess, with like book 2 is what else is invisible? What other creatures are out there? Like I think that there's got to be this whole like djinn lore. Like maybe if we're saying djinn is like a just with or without magic, like your djinn or your clay, there could be many species of djinn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. It was so jarring, honestly, to read. Like, I went back and I was like, sorry, she's like thrown up into the sky and she lands on a what now? Like, what do you mean?
And then it's just over.
Yeah, I've read 500 pages and there's not been a hint of a dragon. What are we talking about? But I love a good dragon in a story, and I do think it opens up a lot of doors. And I love that we got that sneak peek that even the dragon can go invisible.
Yes.
So I think it's going to be so cool. I do think it was jarring. I think she probably did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Interesting choice. I think it kind of worked, but it was just a lot thrown into the ending.
Yeah.
Did you think it was too rushed?
I thought it was a bold choice.
Yeah, I did too.
But I think it worked for her in the way that she wrote it, where I was just like, you sneaky bitch.
Yeah.
Like, look at you go. Like, I told you she was cooking.
Yes.
She made a meal. She made a whole ass meal. There's dessert.
Yes. Yeah.
She's like, by the way, dragon.
The dragon is the dessert. Yes.
Yes. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I'm so excited just to see where it goes. Like, that just made, you can end a book in a very abrupt way and do it so right or so wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And very bold choice, but she did it so right.
Do you want to know why I'm so fucking dumb? I have the 4th book on my shelf. This is the cover of the 4th book. Did I think there are dragons in the series? No. Did I think about the fact that I just made a video about this book 2 months ago? No. I don't know where my brain was because I read Dragon and I actually like draw on the floor. And then later on I was like, I have this book has a dragon on the cover, but didn't think of that. So that was on me. I know you guys had no context because you don't have this book on your shelf just staring at you. But yeah, that's the thing. So
I don't know how you do that. Like, even I'm so glad that you didn't, though, because it totally would have ruined it for you.
It's supposed to be like that. Like,
I love going into a book blind for that exact reason. Like, I would not have I would have been looking for the dragon.
Yeah, agreed. As you said, bold choice. I think it works for her. I think I felt like the first time I read it through, I felt like that was too fast. I wanted that to be double the length of pages, that ending. But I listened to it again and it works. It's just like you have to be paying attention to like every single word. Like it is, there is no filler in that last little section.
When I tell you from chapter 24 on that I was locked in, I was locked in because I'm pretty sure that chapter 24 or the very end of chapter 23 is when Hazan is like, you find out it was his firefly or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So after that, I was like, sold.
Yes.
Like, I'm in this. I love everything that's happening. Yeah. I think that I just loved Hazan.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? Did you like the pacing at the end or was that too rushed for you?
No, I like the pacing at the end. I think I probably should have reread it because now I'm realizing I think I was a little lost.
That's why I reread it because I finished it and I was like, I think I got it, but I need to go back. And then I was like, I did not get it. It was a lot.
Granted, I did also, like, I am notorious for I will rewind and rewind and rewind and listen to the same part over and over. So I probably did listen to it twice.
Yeah, because there was like the thing happening with the firewall where she like was going back and forth, right? And then the grandpa had his snakes coming out of
Yeah.
Wild.
horrific.
Yep.
And then like a dragon just appears out of nowhere. Kind of how I remember that going
Yeah,
down.
I don't think we've talked much about that situation. And I guess I would love your guys' take because it seemed like when somebody is going to like take the throne or something like that, they could make a deal with like the devil. But then if they don't, then they're like, what were those called? Like diviners or something? Like, Diviners. Like, then they're being like blessed and cared for by them. So like there's kind of those like two avenues that you could go through.
Yeah, but they're all dead. And
they are all dead.
Did he ever open the note from them?
What note?
What?
Cameron got a note from the dividers like way back in the beginning of the story.
I thought it was just to meet with them. And then he was supposed to meet with them. He was on the way to meet with them. And that was when he saw her and then missed the meeting.
Oh, I kind of forgot.
But I thought that this is where I was getting into the whole, okay.
I thought he had a note in his pocket.
He very well may have, and I might have skipped over it if it was right at the beginning and we never went back to it. So that'll be super interesting, like to find later. And I'm now going to be looking for that in book 2 and going back to reread book 1. I thought this book was so well written in like I like reading books that will go into like how people behave in society.
Yeah.
And I loved like the kindness being something that was like a reoccurring theme and everything. And the thought of self-fulfilling prophecy, like I thought this was just a smart book that made you think about how to treat people. So I don't know, I maybe went too far into it, but with the diviners and everything too, it's like, do you really need to know your future? Or are you going to then, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, no matter which way you do it. Like, is that fate or free will? Yeah. And then going into all of that. So are you messing with your fate by going to these people? Yeah. Because it kind of seems like you are. So I wonder what happens with them being wiped out. Like, were they actually not that good?
Oh, were they not necessary?
That's what not saying that they were not necessary, but like, are they not necessarily on the right side of things? Like, who are they really working for? Because to me, it seems like these prophecies that they gave fell right into the same riddles that the devil was giving.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
But it seemed like the devil made this guy into like the snake with two.
The devil gave him a choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he made a decision, but it was some kind of like offer that's given. And he was told never to like take the bait or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And he chose that route.
Yeah. But he chose it. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's another thing that we could get into too, is like, did you guys think it was the king?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was like pretty early on when he started talk about his own demise. It seemed like he was choosing it.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's sus. And then I started getting really confused at the end, though, when we introduced Cirrus. There was a minute where I thought it might have been Cirrus because they talked about like the man's cloak being so old. And I'm convinced that Cirrus has some kind of time traveling ability.
Oh.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, well, that's what he said about Huda when he was talking about like, he's like, well, then we'd have to go back in time and that would take forever.
Oh, I
Oh.
completely forgot that.
That's cool.
So I thought
Yeah.
when she was talking about like he's got this cloak and it's so old and he has no idea, like I was like, that's got to be a time traveler's cloak. Like I don't know why I thought that. And then we get that later
That's
on and he talks about the
cool.
time travel.
Yeah.
But then it sounded like the guy with the hood has the snakes, but I don't remember the king ever being talked about with this cloak. So like it sounded like the prince had the king's cloak or something.
Yeah.
There's something there with that though.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I think that Cirrus can time travel.
That's cool. I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. When he
Yeah.
first was introduced as a character, I was kind of getting fishy vibes because he wasn't giving her explanations for like, he's kind of telling her what they're going to do and that they have this like mutual friend. But like, I feel like I'd be asking a lot more answers for this guy who's trying to just like scoop you up and take you somewhere other than just like, I promise it's for the best. Like, I don't know. I definitely
Yeah.
was getting fishy vibes. It wasn't until a little bit later that I think I realized like who he would have been, but I don't know. I think that Paige might have clocked it sooner.
The only thing that I clocked, I guess, early on, if it's early on, but I think as soon as they started talking about this other ambassador, you knew that there was going to be a love triangle.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
I don't think that that was anything that was really like a shock.
fair.
That was the only thing that I was really like, I was just waiting for him to become a part of the story.
Yeah.
Because as soon as they said it, I was like, ooh,
Briefest love triangle in existence. It was kind of like, you know,
I don't know if it's over.
Because it
Yeah.
seemed like
I'm telling you, they have the same mindset on things. Yes, he needed to catch up a little bit, but he was inspired by her and looking up to her and he was changing. Like, I think they would be wonderful together if they
Yeah.
actually.
I could see him going on a villain arc for some reason though. I don't know.
I could see it going anyway, but I would
Yeah.
argue like it's interesting because like right now you're supposed to think of him as the villain, right?
Yeah.
Because he went and he killed all the diviners and this and that, but obviously he's probably going to become some kind of special thing. But I also had thoughts about, and this is where maybe I'm holding on to hope that Cameron's like that their whole thing could maybe become a little bit different because
Yeah.
he's got this gold line that he was left with
Yeah.
or whatever.
and it got bigger.
Right.
Yes.
I was seeing a whole fire and ice thing going on.
Ah,
Oh, yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
that's
she
fun.
did say he was warm.
Yeah. I saw a whole fire and ice
Yeah.
thing. I was like, they complement each other. Something is supposed to be where they are supposed to be together. And then we've got this guy that's screwing around with the devil getting involved. I thought that, you know, if you bring the fire and ice together, then it's like a new earth, right? Like you build something new. It's now neutral
I could
or
see that,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I liked the idea of
Yeah.
that a lot.
I liked them together. Like before we even knew who Cirrus like was or that he was going to be in the picture. Like I wanted them together. Like I liked.
Yeah.
They had a lot of good yearning, and they immediately felt like drawn to each other. So I did like that. But then
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just a sucker for Cirrus, I guess, because as soon as he was like swooping her away, I'm like, nope, this is the one.
Yeah. It's like, we're going to go get married.
I'm like, yeah, okay, that's fine. Marriage of convenience, marriage of whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm on board.
Yeah.
Wild ending though. That last, I think that's the last sentence of like,
Yeah.
let's just go get married now. You're gonna be the queen. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, oh, you need a kingdom to rule. You need this. You need that. I'm abducting you and we're just
Yes.
going to do this now.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, that kingdom, I'm really excited because of how beautiful and like poetic her writing is. It describes that kingdom. He said like one square or whatever of it is as beautiful as your whole kingdom right
Yes.
now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I cannot wait for Tahereh to like write that. I mean, she already did, but I can't wait
Yeah.
to read what she wrote about that because it's probably
Yeah.
going to be
We're
so
starting
cool.
this book at like midnight.
Yeah. Speaking of book 2, though, do you guys have any like big predictions of where you think that's gonna go?
I think I already hinted at a lot of I thought that maybe there'd be some kind of fire and ice thing going on because it just seems like they're alluding to something with that there. I definitely think that maybe we're going to find like a bunch of other like invisible creatures and like more Jinn lore,
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
that's pretty obvious. I'm very interested to see like this whole in the circle obviously ends up being like the 3 that are now in the love triangle. So I'm very curious to see how all of that is just like going to go down, because it seems like she's going to need to figure out the right one to be with to be able to rule either in a good way or in a bad way, because she's going to be ruling either way. It kind of seems like these are all self-fulfilling prophecies.
Yeah.
And there's this talk about the people that will lay down their life for her, the 5 people, in order for her to get to it. And I think that that's going to be the most interesting part.
I think she already has some people who have laid down their life for her in her parents.
Yeah.
I think. And I'd be curious if there's anybody else from her past that she would consider. Like, that's kind of what I was thinking with Hassan.
Maybe he's
She
one of
outed
those.
she outed him, and like maybe he's dead now, and he's one of them. Or maybe he survives and will be at some point later on.
Yeah. I thought it was weird that there had to be any kind of sacrifice at all. If that's the way that it goes, I really hope her parents like already count, because I would have a hard time seeing her let anybody die for her. That's the thing that's confusing to me. I can understand like the willingness to die and everything.
Ooh, yeah.
It's giving Harry Potter again. Like, I open at the close, like she needs to accept it. Like, no one's gonna die for me. Like, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Or whatever, or sacrifice herself for them. Like, I don't know what's going to go on there, but I just don't see her as being somebody that's going to be like able to let people lay down their life for her.
Consciously, I think it'll be people like, I think her parents are a good example where they knew what she was and they lost their life trying to protect her, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it'll ever be like, she's not aware of this person is going to die for me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
They make it sound like she's just going to go down this path and slaughter them while she picks up her prize at the end.
Like, it does sound like it's gonna be like, and you and you and you.
Yeah, like it was just kind of dramatic. So I was just like, I have a really hard time with that. So I just don't picture it going down the way that they say.
Yeah, I agree. I am curious to see Cameron. I feel we've seen those good attributes of him where I feel like he could end up being a great person, but do envision for some reason a bit of a villain arc. He just lost so much. And then also this girl that he's like super infatuated with just went flying into the night on a dragon with another king, basically,
to go marry him.
Yeah. So I could see him having like a bit of a trying to go chase after her. And
do you think he'll start a war for her?
I think he might start a war for her, and I don't think I'm gonna like it.
No, I think that you're probably right in that. That would suck if that's what happens. I don't want to see it for him.
No,
I hope that at the end they all end up with their heart in the right place, because it's never the first guy they give you.
That's fair. I am excited for her. In book 2, maybe we'll get more her magic, because we got little sneak peeks, and she is so fucking powerful. Like, so powerful. And so we saw just a couple of scenes of that, though. Like, I hope in book 2 we get a little bit more, and maybe her learning how to use it more, because it seemed like she has all this power, but it doesn't seem like she's necessarily honed her skills in it or anything. Like, she's just
she's been hiding it, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So now in somewhere where she doesn't have to hide it, like, I'm excited to see some.
Yeah, she's
cool
like, I've never
lessons.
tried this before, but it worked out for me perfectly.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Yes. So yeah, I think those are just my hopes for book 2, but I'm really excited. I was just talking to Paige earlier when we were looking it up that it's shorter than this first book. It's only 11 hours, the audiobook. So normally it goes the opposite direction. Like, books get longer and longer in the series. So it'll be a breeze.
So then book 3 by Sunday.
Yeah.
Basically.
Exactly.
So then we're done by Monday.
Right. Yeah. We'll just finish the other few books, and in a few days we'll be ready to reconvene.
Is it the last book comes out this year then?
Yeah, it comes out September of 2026. It's untitled right now.
Oh, we're going to have to wait because I'm going to finish it so quick.
Yeah. And then we'll be waiting for
I hate to wait. We'll have to maybe consider that for a September, October book.
I'd love that. Yeah.
Full circle, first and last.
All right, Paige, what did you rate this book?
I think I'd have to give this one a solid 4. I think there was a lot more to do, but it's a YA. So like for a YA, probably 5. It might be more fair. I think it was probably a 4 for me.
What about you, Maggie? What did you rate this book?
I give it like a 3.5. I liked it. I do feel like it was a little bit of world building-y, and I was kind of fighting with Cameron a little bit and his POVs. I was like, come on, guy.
Would you guys both, I know you're continuing the series tonight. Yes. Are you going to keep going on the series too?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been wrestling with my rating because I think I'm landing between a 4 and a 4.25. I think, again, if you're looking at the lens of a YA book, like one of the best young adult books I've ever read. It's phenomenal. And the lens of I'm 28 years old and I'm reading this, there's things that I would have changed, but it's almost unfair to say that because it's not the genre. Really loved it. I have such high hopes for where the series is going to go because I think this was like such a good like building block for the rest of the series.
Yeah. And it was a quick read.
Yeah.
I love a quick read. A book that you don't want to put down,
Yes.
like automatically a 4 for me.
All right. I think that about wraps up our discussion on this book. I know Paige and I are going to start book 2 like immediately. We're super excited about
Maybe
it.
you'll be close behind.
Yes. Yeah. Next month, we have to finish the series because next month we're diving into a new romantasy series.
Yes.
It's Spark of the Everflame is the first book that we're reading. So I'm super excited to dive into that one. That one's an adult romantasy, so a little bit different from this one, but
That'll be interesting to kind of go from a young adult to just regular romantic.
yeah, it's very different vibes, but it's a fun one.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you guys
Exciting.
in the next episode.
Bye.
Thanks.